Hello, I am Pramod Kumar. Today we will study subject is accountancy. Our chapter is cash flow statement, and we have divided this chapter in 6 parts. 2 parts we have already covered. This is the part 3 of 6, right? So how do we go about it? First we will see how a cash flow statement right. So what do we do here? A, B, C. What is a cash flow from operating statement? Right? Cash flow from operating activities. Operating activities. Then cash flow from investing activities. Third one is cash flow from financing activities. Cash flow from financing activities, right? So what do we get? We get net increase or decrease in cash flow. Net increase or decrease in cash flow, right? And this is what it is, A plus B plus C. So suppose this is the figure, this is the figure. So here we get total of ABC, which shows net increase or decrease in cash flow. In this we add plus, what do we add? Cash and cash equivalent at the beginning. Cash and cash equivalent at the beginning. So whatever was there at the beginning will be added, and finally what do we get? Is equal to cash and cash equivalent at the end of the period, right? So once again, how do we get cash flow statement? Sorry, this needs to come here. Cash flow statement: cash flow from operating activities, cash flow from investing activities, cash flow from financing activities, A, B, C. All these three combined together result into net increase or decrease in cash flow, A plus B plus C, which is this figure. Then in this we add cash and cash equivalent at the beginning of the year. So that figure becomes this, and finally we get cash and cash equivalent at the end of the year. So this way we get, right? Now, as per accounting standard 3, there are two methods of preparing or presenting cash flow statement. One is direct method, another is indirect method, right? As per the accounting standard 3, two methods of presenting. A company can present in either of the two methods, either by direct method or by indirect method. So what is direct method, right? Under, see, first of all we will discuss direct method. In direct method, major heads of cash inflow and cash outflow are considered, right? In direct method, under direct method, major heads of cash inflows and cash outflows are considered. It is important to note, under direct method, it is important to note that items are recorded on accrual basis in profit and loss statement. Under direct method, it is important to note for us that various items of income and expenses in the profit and loss statement are recorded based on accrual method, not on actual method, right? Accrual method, they are recorded on basis of accrual method, right? So what happens when we are not recording on the basis of actual and we are recording on the basis of accrual? Then we need to make certain adjustments. What is accrual method? Suppose something was due to be paid during that particular period, but it has not been paid. So provision will need to be made for the payment of that due. Or suppose the other way round, some expenses have been prepaid. So we will need to make adjustment for those prepaid expenses, right? So certain adjustments need to be made in order to convert them into cash basis so that they form an integral part of cash flow statement, right? So there are four major items which we will discuss here. For the sake of simplicity, we will restrict ourselves to four items. What are those four items? We are talking of direct method of preparing and presenting cash flow statement. So here, what do? Cash receipt from customer, right? I will write in short so that cash receipt from customer, right, is equal to net sales plus trade receivables at the beginning plus trade receivables at beginning minus trade receivables at the end, right? So you please try to understand. Under direct method, we will discuss four major heads. First is cash received from customers. It is equal to net sales plus trade receivables at the beginning of the period minus trade receivables at the end of the period. This way we get cash received from customers, right? Whatever has been the net sales plus whatever we had to recover from customers as at the beginning of the year minus whatever remains to be recovered from customers at the end of that particular period, right? We can take an example. Suppose it is FY financial year 2019-2020, right? FY 2019-2020, which has ended 6 months back as on 31st March. So net sales during FY 1920 plus trade receivables at the beginning of the year, means as on 1/4/2019, 1st of April 2019, minus trade receivables at the end of the year, means as on 31/3/2020, 31st of March 2020, right? Now we go ahead to the second item. What is the second item? Cash payment to suppliers. cash payment to suppliers. This is equal to, what it is equal to? Cash payment to suppliers, purchases plus trade payables at the beginning minus trade payables at the end. Right? Once again, cash payment to suppliers, it is equal to purchases made, total purchases made during financial year 2019-2020 plus trade payables at the beginning of the year as on 1/4/2019, 1st of April 2019 minus trade payables at the end of the year, means minus trade payables at 31st of March 2020, right? This way we get cash payment to suppliers. Now third item we get purchases. How do we get purchases? We have already discussed two. Now we are discussing the third one, purchases. So purchases equal to cost of revenue from operations, cost of revenue from operations minus opening inventory, whatever we got as on 1/4/2019, right? Cost of revenue from operations minus opening inventory plus closing inventory, right? This OP you should not confuse with opening. This is operations, right? So purchases is equal to cost of revenue from operations minus opening inventory, because this we got at the opening of the year 1st of April 2019, plus closing inventory as on 31st of March 2020, right? Purchases is done. Now we are going to the fourth item, and what is that? That is cash expenses. Cash expenses, the fourth item. So what we will do here, cash expenses, you try to understand better. Something needs to be remembered in this. Cash expenses is equal to expenses on accrual basis. Expenses on, we have already discussed, expenses on accrual basis minus prepaid expenses in the beginning and outstanding expenses at the end plus opposite of this plus prepaid expenses at the end and outstanding expenses at the beginning. Right? So cash expenses for an enterprise is equal to expenses on accrual basis minus prepaid expenses in the beginning and outstanding expenses at the end. These two items need to be deducted plus prepaid expenses at the end and outstanding expenses at the beginning need to be added for arriving at cash expenses, right? So what we will do, we'll discuss again. Under direct method, we need to understand four things primarily. How do we arrive at cash received from customers? Cash received from customers is equal to net sales plus trade receivables at the beginning, means on 1st of April 2019. This is an example. Minus trade receivables at the end, means trade receivables at 31/3/2020. Then cash payment to suppliers is equal to total purchases during the year plus trade payables at the beginning as on 1/4/2019 minus trade payables at the end that needs to be deducted, which is trade payable outstanding as on 31/3/20. Purchases is equal to cost of revenue from operations, minus opening inventory, whatever we got as on 1/4/19 plus closing inventory, whatever was left as on 31/3/20. Cash expenses is equal to expenses on accrual basis minus two things need to be deducted: prepaid expenses in the beginning and outstanding expenses at the end. And two things need to be added: prepaid expenses at the end and outstanding expenses at the beginning, right? And certain items which are non-cash need not be included here, like non-cash items, depreciation, right? Then discount on shares. Suppose we have issued shares and we have offered some discount. Those are not non-cash items. They will not be included here in the cash flow statement. Then all those items which are classified as investing, cash flow from investing activity or cash flow from financing activity will not be included here. Why it will not be included here? Because here we are doing operating cash flows from through direct method. We are trying to know here what are the cash flows from operating activities through direct method. So since we are talking of cash flows from operating activities, cash flows from investing activities and financing activities will not be included here. Non-cash items like discount on shares and depreciation will not be included here, right? So now we will do one sum in order to make it more clear. Okay. So the sum goes like this. From the following information, calculate cash flow from operating activities using direct method, which we have discussed. So it is a P&L statement, right? Here they have given revenue from operations, other income, we will do it quickly. Total revenue, expenses, cost of materials consumed, cost of material consumed, employee benefit expenses, these are the expenses, employee benefit expenses, depreciation, other expenses, depreciation, other expenses, insurance premium, total expenses. So PBT, tax, PAT, right? So here it is 220, other income is dash, total revenue is 220, 220, cost of material 120, 30, 20, 120, 30,000, depreciation is 20,000, other expense, insurance premium is 8,000, total expenses 150, 170, 178. So what is PBT? 22 and 20, 42,000. Tax is 10,000. So PAT is 32,000. Profit after tax is 32,000. Now what they have given? Additional information. They have given April 1, 14, April 1, 1, 4, 14, 1, 4, 15. Certain additional information have been given. Trade receivables, trade payables, inventory, outstanding employee benefits, inventory, outstanding employee benefits, then prepaid insurance, income tax outstanding, prepaid insurance, income tax outstanding, 33, 36. 17, 15. We are doing this elaborately so that if you understand one, you can do many sums. 22, 27. Outstanding employee benefit 2,000, 3,000. Prepaid insurance 5,500. Right? Income tax outstanding 3,000, 2,000. Right? So you have already seen those four major items what we need to do. So how do we arrive at those four items? Right? Cash received from customer. Right? Cash received from customer. What is the amount, you tell me? Total revenue is 2,20,000, right? And we have already discussed plus trade receivables at the beginning minus trade receivables at the end, right? So 2,20,000 plus 33, 2,53,000 minus 36,000, 2,17,000, right? See, we have already discussed that four major items we will discuss under operating cash flows through direct method, and those four were cash received from customer, we had discussed, revenue from operations plus trade receivables at the beginning minus trade receivables at the end, 2,20,000 plus beginning 1414, 1415, 253 minus 36,000, 2,17,000. Second item, what is that? Purchases. So purchases we had discussed. What we had discussed regarding purchases? Cost of revenue from operations, right? So what are the cost of revenue from operations? We have already seen 120,000, here it is 120,000 cost of material consumed, right? Cost of revenue from operations minus opening inventory. So 1,20,000 minus opening inventory 22,000 means 98,000 plus closing inventory 27,000, 1,25,000, right? So purchases becomes equal to 1,25,000. Then cash payment to suppliers. What we had discussed in this? Cash payment to suppliers is equal to what we had discussed? Purchases plus trade payables at the beginning minus trade payables at the end. So what are the purchases here? Purchases, what are the purchases? We have already done here 1,25,000. So purchases plus payables at the beginning, 125 plus 17, 142 minus 15, 125 plus 17,000, 142 minus 15, 127,000. So 127,000 is, that's correct, cash payment to suppliers. Then cash expenses. What we had discussed about cash expenses? Expenses on accrual basis minus prepaid expenses at the beginning and outstanding expenses at the end plus prepaid expenses at the end and outstanding expenses at the beginning. So let us go about that. Cash expenses is equal to expenses on accrual basis, right? Then we go to cash paid to employees. Cash to employees. So what do we do that? Cash to employees is, here it is 30,000, right? Cash to employees 30,000 plus outstanding benefit opening 30,000 plus 2,000, 32,000 minus closing 3,000. So it becomes 29,000. Cash to employees 29,000. Then cash paid for insurance premium. So what is the insurance premium here? 8,000, right? 8,000, and opening we will, prepaid insurance we will deduct. 8,000 minus 5,000 is equal to 3,000, and closing we will add. So it becomes 8,500. And lastly, income tax paid. So here income tax is 10,000. Outstanding income tax is 3,000. So it will be added. Outstanding income tax which we had to pay, we have not paid. So 10,000 tax plus outstanding 3,000 minus closing. So it becomes 11,000. Right? So tax becomes 11,000. So we have seen, once again, we need to discuss under 4 head. Cash received is equal to net sales plus trade receivables at the beginning minus trade receivables at the end. Cash payment to suppliers, purchases plus trade payables at the beginning minus trade payables at the end. Then cash expenses. We have already discussed accrual basis, not actual basis. That is why we are doing all these adjustments. Cash on expenses on accrual basis minus prepaid expenses at the beginning and outstanding expenses at the end plus prepaid expenses at the end and outstanding expenses at the beginning. And last item, cash expenses. No, we have discussed all the 4, right? And we have taken care that 2 items we don't need to include, non-cash items like depreciation, discount given on shares, issue of shares, and other thing, those things which relate to cash flow from investing activity and cash flow from financing activity, because here we have discussed cash flow from operating activities through direct method, right? We hope you found it easy to understand. In case of any difficulty, you may please approach me on my email ID, which will be there at the thumbnail to the video. Thank you very much.